BSSM, not to be confused with BDSM.
And with that, welcome to Old Drunken Discography. I'm your host, Jason. With me is Tim.
Hi.
Mr. BDSM over there, Bill.
Please like and subscribe because YouTube hates us.
Ed just popped in. Say hi, Ed.
You get paid for this?
And Hannah is above us.
Hey, guys.
And we're talking blood, sugar, sex, magic. All right. I guess I'll start this one off. Let me get my right notes here. All right. For better or worse, this album is ingrained in me.
Mm-hmm.
Before Rick Rubin's name really meant anything, and before Rick's name meant lazy bum on the couch. Power of Equality, best opening track in the discography. Great lyrics. Love the vocal tempo change on the outro. Great shit. If you had to ask, you'll never know. Funky motherfucker lives rent-free in my head. Breaking the Girl. Then you get Breaking the Girl. It's just a gorgeous song musically. One of my favorite riffs from John. And the vocal deliveries from old Tony. Funky Monks. Not much musically, but the repeating backing vocals sell it for me. I think John's backing vocals work. That's that fucking pepper sound. Suck My Kiss, a fucking classic. Almost any song on this album could be a top song contender for me. I Coulda Lied, like Breaking the Girl. It's top tier. It's haunting. It's beautiful. I can still see a 10-year-old Michael, shout out Michael, singing this shit in 91, 92. We were way too young to be listening to this fucking album, though. Mellowship Slinky in B major. It's great. Righteous and the Wicked, another good one. Sure, it's got some Ketis gibberish here and there, but overall, the meaning of the song is good. Give It Away, classic. Still a damn fun song. It's not hard. It's really hard to sing it and not like kick into Bedrock Anthem by Weird Al, though. And then you get the B-side, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. It's fine. It's not my favorite. Under the Bridge, you would talk about oversaturation. We talk about that a lot on this show back in the day of being oversaturated. This fucking song, it's a good song, but I'm fucking jaded on it. No pun intended. Heard it too much. My low point on the album because of that. Naked in the Rain, luckily it picks up. It's a fun one. Patchy Rose Peacock. This has always been one of my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers songs. I had no idea what this song was about when I was a kid. I just always liked the music and the vocal delivery. I think fucking Ketis kills it. It's not the most appropriate lyrics, but damn if it doesn't feel like New Orleans. I love the little trumpet that comes in when he says the word trumpet. I'm always a sucker for things like that. Greeting song brings back a little of that Mother's Milk punk light in here. Good shit. My Lovely Man, it's fine. Just another okay one. And then you get Sir Psycho Sexy. Like I said, I was way too young to be listening to this album. But I like the little flourishes it has in it. I like the I need to scream, and then he actually screams. Learn something, Chad Kroger. It's over 8 minutes long, but it doesn't lose your attention, does it? Once the lyrics are over, it just goes in this beautiful instrumental outro. It's an interesting song, to say the least. And then you get They're Red Hot. Closing track is short. It's fun. I'm going with 100% nostalgia here, but this album fucking kicks ass. Would you like to follow that up, Bill?
You know what? I do want to follow that shit up. Right? Power of Equality. What's the difference on the first couple albums? I'll tell you what it is. There's not a difference. It's the same shit that they've done in the last couple. Alright, if you had to ask, not a fan of the chorus, I felt that the instruments were repetitive and simple, which is unfortunate because the instruments, to this point, I felt like carried the band. Breaking the Girl. Top song contender. Okay, this is different. It's beautiful. I like this. I thought I had my top songs picked out before I listened to this. Never mind, I don't. Funky Monks. The outro is sick. The chorus has high stuff going on with it. It's actually got some words going on. I like it. Suck My Kiss. Actually understand what he's singing as he's singing it. Don't have to look up the lyrics. Good.
Could have been, would have been.
And still hell, funk. But goddamn, it's good. Could Have Lied. Top song contender. Emotion is definitely coming through on this one. Goddamn, this is actually hitting hard. Really, really bad. I thought I had my top 5 picked out. Might have to change it after that one. Mellowship. Slinky in B major.
You got a fellowship.
5th grade rhyming, but it's smooth. It's growing, and it's growth from the last couple albums. It's mellow. It's not for me at all. I'm not sure about all the people that's referenced in it though. Cause that's the thing, cause it references like 8 different people I think throughout it. It's kind of wondering why, or if it's just fitting the rhyming scheme. Which hey, Dr. Seuss is great.
Yeah, I mean, we're 5 albums deep now. If you haven't figured out, he's just rhyming to rhyme.
Yeah, it's like
Trust me,
he
it
comes up
comes
with
home.
a clever line and then doesn't know what to do, so the next line is like whatever rhymes with it, and then it's a clever line, and then whatever rhymes with it. So it makes it kind of incoherent. Like,
Yeah.
the metaphors
Hey.
get away.
So there's so many people that he references in it that's like, okay, can we get something coherent at this point?
Yeah.
Anyways, Righteous and the Wicked. The pause made me check to make sure the video was playing and not buffering. Almost too slow paced at this point in the discography. But I liked it. Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. Title track. I like the change from the verses to the chorus and the vocals and everything. I've always been a fan of dynamic stuff. If you haven't noticed, go back and look at any other discography we've reviewed. Being able to change pace at any place in time, change vocal trend, change melodies, change bar measures. It's something not many bands can successfully do and do well. I thought they did it okay here. Not great. Okay.
They do that a lot on this album, and I'm only saying this now because the next album you'll miss it. But anyway, proceed.
My comment, it adds a layer on top of the instruments. The instruments I feel like really carry the Red Hot Chili Peppers through these first lot of albums. It's exemplary here as well in this song. Under the Bridge, always been a top song for me for Red Hot Chili Peppers. This song's still been played on the radio I listen to, even in 2024, which is 23 years after it was initially released. It's a revert back to its wrong notes. God damn, it's good. There's a lot I like about it. Top song contender. Naked in the Rain. Okay. It happens. It's a cool, funky beat, though they kind of sad at points. Who the hell licks a whale's tail? Don't ask me. Ask either Tim or Jason, which would be Tim, because he's the one that recommended this discography. I'm sure he knows the band way better than I do. I don't lick a whale's tail to determine what's wrong with it. Apparently, Tim knows who licks a whale's tail.
Big bands in the 90s wrote music, not necessarily like with an in-your-face meaning. A lot of times, like, it was something private joke. Sometimes Kurt wrote, he just wrote pieces of things and put it together. So
it's like,
it's just,
yeah, salty when you lick the whale's tail is an inside joke?
You know what? After
Could
some
be.
of the
After some thought, I think I know what he's talking about now.
after some of the previous lyrics, though,
Actually, makes sense.
No, he's
questionable.
actually talking about
Yes,
whale and
see,
Dr.
see the
Dolittle.
light bulb went off in Jason's head because he gets it. I mean,
I get
Honky-
Kiedis on this
The
one.
chorus just mentions Dr. Dolittle every time. And it's like,
It
oh yeah,
does.
the whale was sick, so I licked the whale's tail. What are you doing?
All right, dude. I'm just saying that it takes a set. You have to know these, like the times. Anyways,
All
just
right,
think
what-
about it.
Times in
Yeah, go
91?
naked in the rain. Naked in the rain.
Oh my god.
I'm just going
Or
to throw out
Apache
if you're
Rose.
not licking whale tails, I feel bad for you.
Thank you, Tim.
He's,
Anyway,
he's too young. He's too young.
Too young. Yeah.
Apache Rose Peacock. Okay.
Tim back
We
on
almost
53rd and
were-
3rd.
Hey,
Revert back
hashtag
to-
bring back the whale tail.
No,
Back
don't
to
bring
Bill.
it back.
Bring it back.
Don't bring it back.
Oh my
All right.
God! Keep
Oh,
going,
we're
Bill.
reverting back to Freaky Styley, I feel like, with Apache Rose Peacock. Which isn't a bad thing, actually. But, I mean, my comment exactly as I was thinking the song. Really, you're going to do that? Never mind. You did it better. So, that's okay. The greeting song, really basic rhymes going on. What is severound? I think is the word I wrote. I don't even know what that word is. It's one of the words that he rhymed with, though. Goddamn Cat in the Hat striking back. It
Yeah.
happens. I don't know what it is, though. Which I like to think of myself as an educated individual. I don't
This
know.
has nothing to do with people being educated or not. It's just a lot of times.
But I need to know what the word means.
Yeah, but I'm saying it deals with times within. Like I said, it just.
So
you
what's
have-
the stuff around?
There's that saying you had to be there sometimes, you know, and
Oh, what's the stuff around?
yeah, I'm not saying I got the answer for you. All I'm saying is a lot. Sometimes you got to do a digging into these lyrics to find out what they are.
Dude, this is what number are we
But
on?
you-
1, 2,
it's
3,
not-
4. The
It's
fifth
not just
album.
digging into the lyrics. You also have to like understand like where society was in the like the early
exactly.
'90s. Like you have to. There's some nuance there that I think is gonna go over your head, Bill, because you're just a little too young.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, a lot of this stuff has to do with sex, drugs, and music. That's what
I
they're
know,
all
and
about.
that's why I am asking people
Yeah.
who were alive at this time what it was.
You just
I
had to be
want
there,
to
man.
know.
You just had to be
You
there.
just have to be there.
That doesn't.
Just Google it,
Just
okay?
yeah, move on. We gotta.
Good.
Fine.
What's
You
your
know
next
what?
one?
Hey, I'll blitz through these. My Lovely Man and Sir Psycho Sound song, Sir Psycho Sexy. Yeah, that's why I said. Slow, freaky songs, kind of funky. That's both of those songs. Nothing else need to be said.
Yeah.
They're red
Sense
hot.
Around is the brand
No
name for a
promo?
process developed by Kerwin Vega in conjunction with Universal Studios to enhance the audio experience during film screenings.
There you go.
Actually, that makes sense.
See?
Because where that was in the lyrics as well, that was in that. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
They're red hot. Self promo question mark?
Yep.
Kind of. Not
Goddamn
really.
hot
It's a cover.
tamales exist.
It's a
Yeah,
cover.
it's a cover.
I said goddamn hot tamales exist. It's okay.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I got them for sale.
It's probably one of their top closers so far. Not for me,
That's a
not
good one.
best, but like it's up there.
All right. Ed, get us through Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
All right. You know me. I like to go through these quick, fast, in a hurry, but I do have some opinions.
Please do tell.
Well, first of all, if you guys ever on YouTube watch the Funky Monks documentary, you can actually
Oh.
see and watch them make this album. And
Yeah.
it's really interesting because compared to what people do in studios nowadays, you saw how things were in the '90s. How like I'm gonna use the word primitive because that's just things that they were doing you don't do anymore in studios to record sounds. Because nowadays you have machines that can create these sounds instead of having Chad over there banging on like a tube looking thing to get the sound of the percussion. Anyway, so it's just a little bit different. I really enjoy that documentary because again, this is probably
maybe organic instead of primitive would be the right word.
What was it? Because wasn't this one like
it's pretty? I mean, it's primitive. Like the stuff that
it's
they
primitive if you think that machines doing everything is okay.
Which is everything nowadays with
no, that's not what I'm saying. It's like it's just everything the way that they were going about it back then. It was very the beginnings of kind of like watching the beginning of something being
jam
made.
Session, like not I don't want to say jam session, but like they were actually all sober in studio for this album.
Oh, they were not sober.
They were not sober, no, but they were all together.
Yeah,
we talked about this on the Aerosmith video.
They
were all together except for Chad. Chad did not live in that house because it was haunted and he didn't want to live in it.
The most important thing is
the house that the Manson murders happened.
Yeah.
It was
something like that. It was a haunted house, but I can't remember in Hollywood. But anyways, that documentary is awesome. If you haven't seen it, people that watch your show, go check it out because it's really, really good. So for this album, real quick, the funk comes back, so that's great. But it comes back in a different form. It comes back with a mix with rock, and again, I think John's work here, you can see it. His footprint is all over the place here. Rick Rubin produced it, so this is whenever he really wasn't a. I mean, he was obviously Def Jam's. He worked. He was up there in Def Jam, I believe. But a lot of people didn't really know much about him, especially outside of the hip hop world. And I think this might be one of those projects that he worked on outside of hip hop and the Beastie Boys and all of that. So that was interesting to see. I actually went to the bridge where where under the bridge was supposed to be about when I was out there. And at least I found it on YouTube and I followed the directions there, and it's pretty sketchy place, but it was cool to kind of drive by it.
Real nice neighborhood.
Yeah, I drove. Well, I mean, there's a reason why there's a bridge, but I drove by it and I was like, oh, cool, there it is, and I kept driving straight forward. Yeah, bangers on this one. The Power of Equality for sure. Breaking the Girl, Funky Monks, Suck My Kiss. I mean, it's full of them. Mellowship Slinky. That's one of my favorites for sure. Give It Away, Under the Bridge. I know, Jace, it is overplayed, and it was overplayed for us growing up too. But it's such a good, like the words for that, and the story behind it too. If you watch the documentary, they tell you how it came to be, and how Rick Rubin actually forced them to write the song because they didn't want to at first because it didn't fit their style. And then, Naked in the Rain, that's a fun one. See, that's the thing. Like here, they're able to mix fun with good. Like to me, before that, they had fun, but they didn't know how to put the good in there, like the structure and everything.
Yeah. It was fun but chaotic.
Yeah, exactly. It was very like everywhere. This is organized. This is what people. This is what made them, obviously. But yeah, the greeting song, Sir Psycho Sexy, they play. That's one of my favorites. They played it when I went with my wife last year to see him in Atlanta, and it was awesome. It was great. It was great to hear. And they're hot. They're red hot. That's always a good closer. But great album, man. Grew up with it. Can't get enough of it.
All right. Hannah, go ahead.
Okay. I got a lot to say about this one. All right, so this feels like this whole album to me felt like early 90s. Okay, it felt like Nirvana, felt like Pearl Jam, felt like Smashing Pumpkins. They got away. I don't know. They're evolving with the times, I guess I could say. Some of these songs brought back a lot of nostalgia for me. A lot of these songs I had heard on the radio as like a really little kid. So like it brought back a bunch of memories and like nostalgia for me. But overall, despite this being usually widely considered as one of their better albums. I felt like it was a little bit lackluster. Wasn't exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not saying it was bad. It just wasn't the best yet. Starting with the top, Power of Equality. I think they finally found their sound, what they wanted to sound like, what they're continue to sound like, whatever. But considering some of the sexual assault allegations previous to this song kind of hit a little bit of irony for me. Yeah, Power of Equality, but not for women. But anyway, that's my take on that one. Breaking the Girl, I really, really liked. I love the guitar in it. There was a lot more maturity in the songwriting. You can tell that they're not kids anymore. They're starting to grow up a little bit. They're getting there. Funky Monks was a pass for me. The music was alright. I thought the lyrics sucked. It didn't work for me. Suck My Kiss. Well, the red flags are on brand. Not a bad song though. Could Have Lied. And my notes are, maybe you wouldn't have heartbreak songs if you treated women right to begin with. Still, I liked this one. But yeah, it's kind of feel like they deserve the heartbreak a little bit. Back to Mellowship, and I feel like that kind of bounces back to fucking bitches again, which is, they're frat boy shit. It works for them. Righteous and the Wicked. When this one came on, it's kind of the same key as Mellowship, and I wasn't paying attention, and I honestly didn't realize that it was a new song. I kind of thought it was the lyrics are a little better, but I still found this song boring, and because I didn't really, from the last song, they blended together, didn't really notice it, and it just kind of didn't make an impression on me, I guess. Give It Away is the first song on this album that really hit the nostalgia for me. I remember being a kid. I remember hearing it on the radio, and I remember this song's a bop. But now being older, and I was reading the lyrics, and then this song hits a lot different than it did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I didn't pay attention to the lyrics as much, and now that I'm older, I'm like, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Classic Peppers. This is it. They got their metaphors. They love their songs about sex. No surprise, it gets a little vulgar, but this is Classic Peppers. This is them. This is them. This is it. This is what you think of, Under the Bridge also brought back a lot of memories and nostalgia for me. I know this one plays on the radio a lot. I remember this one. Listen, this came on the radio 2 days ago. This song comes on the radio all the time, and I get how that can burn people out, but I still really, really like Under the Bridge, and I can see why it became popular. I see why this was picked as a single. I see why this is played on the radio. It's actually a pretty good song. Naked in the Rain, commentary on society, which they've done in other albums, but this time it feels a little more sincere and less like they're a shill, just doing it for the money. This one felt like they had something to offer, I guess. Apache Rose Peacock, I listened to it and I was like, it's a song about a woman. And then when I was reading about the album, the making of the album, the making of the songs, and I found out the song is about a 14-year-old girl. Not about a woman, about a child. And I'm like, ooh, didn't work for me. Yeah. Greetings song, didn't really have much to say about that one. My Lovely Man, I kind of felt like, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I felt like this was a nod to his name's leaving me right now, the one that died previously.
Oh, wow.
This it sounds like this song was kind of about him. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't look into the details of this one. Sir Psycho Sexy, I feel like they kind of went back to funk a little bit, but they're horny, you can tell. And the Red Hot, I know you guys like this one as an ending to the album, but it didn't do it for me. I felt like it was just kind of random ass shit to finish off the album, but also giving themselves a shout out a little bit. So yeah, that's what I liked this album. It brought back a ton of nostalgia for me. I remember hearing these songs on the radio as a kid. But overall, not my favorite. Pretty good though. I just and the impression I had as a kid listening to it on the radio and the impression I have now as an adult re-listening to them and actually paying attention to the lyrics, they hit a lot different.
A lot of the stuff that if you ever have the time or you're into this band enough to want to read on them, if you read their biographies, like it really, I'm not saying you understand this, but it kind of takes you back to that time, and it kind of like shows you what they went through, and it kind of gives you like a psychological analysis of how they came to be this way.
Right.
Especially
well, I mean,
Anthony, like
he went like party, and then they had a death of a bandmate, and the addiction was really taking hold, and I feel like this was like their peak before a fall, and they kind of like, it's like they almost knew it was coming, like this is the last of the good times.
What I was saying too, even before that though, with Anthony like going through all these sexual experiences, like even before he hit 10, they carried a lot of baggage.
I'm with Hannah. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for it.
I mean, like, just because you understand doesn't mean you can excuse it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's very eye-opening to read their biographies and kind of see where they come from.
Like, I understand completely. Like, they went through some shit, and they did some shit. And there's some commentary in the songs revealing, like, how maybe they're self-reflective. They're looking back on stuff, and they're like, maybe this wasn't so good. They're finally, like, hitting that point where, like, maybe I need therapy. But they're not quite there.
They're not there yet.
I mean, they still haven't. I mean, Anthony's
I'm going to go under the bridge. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with this album, too. I've been listening to it for a while. And I mean, there's definitely some good stuff on here. I won't go through every song, but the bangers for me are If You Have to Ask, Breaking the Girl, Funky Monks, Could Have Lied, Mellow Ship, Righteous and the Wicked, the title track. Man, I love the guitar work in that title track. It's so good. And then after that, it kind of falls apart for me. Apache Rose Peacock's pretty good. So yeah, Sir Psycho Sexy is fun when you're a teenage boy, but when you're not a teenage boy and you have a little bit of musical knowledge, maybe even with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, it's musically exactly the same as their Hank Williams cover from the first album. They even both have marimbas in there. So we're already starting to recycle.
Yeah.
We're starting to recycle. That's all I'm really saying.
I felt that.
And then
I mean, album number 5, you're going to recycle some stuff. That makes sense. For the 5th album, we'll get to later albums.
Yeah, overall, though, it's a fun album. I like the cover of their Red Hot. I think it's kind of a fun, clever one. I mean, obviously, the song was written in the 30s. And here they're like, hey, we're Red Hot.
Tamales!
So, yeah. Oh, God. Suck My Kiss, I've always kind of argued, is directly responsible for Rage Against the Machine.
That's interesting.
And,
I see where you're coming from. I see it.
Yeah.
I agree with it, but I see it.
Well, yeah, I think Rage took a lot of inspiration from that song. And then Give It Away will, like, the guitar part's pretty cool. Like, the little backward solo is fun. The lyrics are obnoxious. And the bass line is the exact same notes and patterns as the Beatles Come Together.
Did not know that.
Well, listen to it. Rhythmically, it's a little different, but it's the same bass line.
I definitely kind of noticed that myself. I was like, this sounds like something I've heard before.
Yeah. Imagine that. One of the last, I'm gonna say, is truly like, good.
Ooh, we'll see about that. Real briefly, Soul to Squeeze, I fucking love it. And Search and Destroy, great cover.
Yeah, that was a great cover.
Soul to Squeeze always kind of reminded me of Def Leppard's Two Steps Behind for some reason.
That's a great ballad that they have, though. So Soul to Squeeze is probably one of people really like that song.
Yeah, I mean, I like Soul to Squeeze. I know what it is. It's my turn to rank, right? No. I did Mother's Milk. It's Tim's turn to rank.
Oh, it's mine. Okay. Well, I think Ed's going to have it number 1.
Correct.
I think Jason's going to have it number 1.
That's correct.
I think Hannah's going to have it number 2.
Correct.
Damn, Tim is so good at this.
Wait, you can just group them like that? You should always do that.
Oh my God.
It's like he watches the show religiously.
Wow.
I do it
I'm just
when
saying,
it's
why haven't you
necessary,
been doing
man.
that?
Because it's timing. It gives people time to think, when they're thinking for the next person. It's all planned out here. We know what we're doing.
Saying, if you can group
You
them,
can bring it up in the
do
next production meeting, like the last comment you had about our backwards numbers here.
I like the numbers like this.
We have production meetings?
Evidently, we need one. We're
Well,
going to invite Ed
Bill
here.
apparently,
Do we have these
Bill
production
apparently says you
meetings
guys
with our
get paid,
editor?
so...
Because I got some comments for our editor.
If you find a better editor, you fucking Jesus Christ. All right, guys. Continue on, Tim.
Okay, so
Ed had it number
Edward's
1.
got it at number 1.
That's right.
Okay. I'm just trying to visually see where I'm at here. Bill is going to have it at number 2.
You got it right.
And Tim's going to have it at number 2.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Tim, you put it on number 2?
Yep.
Oh, cool. I thought for some reason you were going to go lower than that. But...
No, I mean,
No, I get the number 2.
I agree.
Number 2 makes sense.
All right. Well, it's short-lived. Again, we're going to come in some band changes on the next one. So, stick around for that. Get warped with us.
Or don't.
And be safe. Make good decisions.
Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner.